I am back. I am Katie Ann Wilson. We just finished using or doing EdCamp Global Augmented Interactive Student Notebooks, and we talked about ways to use and create augmented reality. This one is bringing learning to life with pre-made augmented triggers, so you really don't have to be very tech savvy to use these things. All you do is have to point a device and scan, and we will be talking about that. If you are watching, I did put in the event page the link to come join me so that I'm not talking to myself. I'm not afraid to talk to myself. I do it all the time. I do host one, I'm a mom and with 3 kids, so I'm always talking to myself. And then a teacher. We do host I host a augmented Twitter chat. So feel free to follow us on that. That's AR for Learning. That's AR with the number 4 Learning. On Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Time, we have different topics. This past week we did games and education. Next week will be back to school, and then I'm going to take a couple weeks off. I have a son going off to college, so I have to kind of move him and school starting. So I'll come back for AR for Learning at the end of the month in August, and we'll do augmented interactive notebooks for that Twitter chat. Feel free to contact me at any time. But if you're watching and you want to join in, I did put a link on the event page that you can click and you can pop in so that I'm don't look half crazed and talking to myself all the time. There is a Q&A for the video. If you just want to sit back and watch and you have questions, you click on the Q&A and you can type in the question, and then others can see your question. We can also share resources that way. I will share different augmented reality tools. Somebody's trying to call me. I can't answer a call and then be in a GHO at the same time. Google doesn't like that. If you are asking questions in Twitter, please also tweet out what we're doing. Don't forget the hashtag ECG 2016 for EdCamp Global 2016. Share out what we're doing. If you have a question for me, though, please tag me. I'm KatieAnn_76. If you type out the question and you don't tag me, I may not see it in Twitter. There's a lot going on for EdCamp Global today, so that feed's quite busy, and I may miss it. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody hopping in. Remember, if you want to come sit in with me and talk with me and join in, this is supposed to be a round table kind of discussion where we talk and share our ideas, and not a presentation. So I'm not going to do a presentation. I'll share different things, but I won't do a presentation today. Okay. While we're waiting for questions, I will present my screen and show you my blog. I am the Diary of the Techie Chick. Do the tunnel there. I had to restart my computer, so you have to give me just a moment to type it. Diary of a Techie Chick, that is me, and you can contact me via my blog. You can tweet to me. You can give me a direct message on Twitter. You can email me at katieann@katieannwilson.com. You can contact me via my website, katieannwilson.com. Anyway, my phone travels with me. I'm hardly ever without my phone. So make sure that if you have questions, need help, please reach out. Okay, so Diary of a Techie Chick, and I have this tab right here. It says augmented reality, and anything, and I share a lot. So anything I've shared out that and I've tagged augmented reality, you can click on that and you'll just get a stream of resources that I've tagged that's augmented reality. Okay, and tons and tons and tons. And I use a lot of Quiver. I think some people are trying to get in, so let me quit sharing my screen real quick. Hi, Summer, how are you? And I got the spell on death. That is fine if you want to listen. If you have questions, make sure, though, that you shout them out to me so that I can answer them. I know I put that link in there. Yep, it's there. Okay, if you're watching and you want to send in, don't try calling me on a GHO. I can't answer the calls. You have to go to the event page and click on the link that I posted, and then that will bring you into the GHO and you can hang out with me. You have to click on that link. If you're calling me and that's like the third time somebody's tried calling, fourth time, lots of people wanting to call me. You've got to come in here and click on that link. Don't try to give me a video call because I can't do a video call and do a Google Hangout on the air at the same time. Google does not like it. Okay, so I was sharing my blog. So let me go back to that. I guess the spiral. Okay, so like I said, go on there, click on augmented reality. There's also search. So if there's a certain topic like math, language arts, certain company like Quiver or Cromwell, you can click on there and do a search, and everything that I've tagged with those will pop up. But right now, the thing that's really popular is, and it's a great example of augmented reality, it's not using a trigger that you have to scan. And when we've got somebody joining. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you today?
Still pajamas, but good.
Oh, well, you know, that's the best PD is when you can sit around in your pajamas.
Absolutely.
I was talking about my blog, but whatever you would like to talk about using pre-made triggers, I am open, and I'm not going to do a presentation. So it's time for everyone to share, not just me.
I know. I feel like I've been out of it so long, though. I don't really know what, as far as what people are using now. I'm moving into a reading interventionist position this year, and also working with dyslexic students. So I'm kind of interested in how I can use augmented reality in that setting. So if you have any ideas.
I have lots of ideas. Hang on just a second. I have to reach over. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
They have books that are augmented, all different kinds. They're not just all science. I picked up the science ones, but they have some that are what you said. What grade again?
They'll be middle school, 6th through 8th.
6th grade 8th. So they have tons of books, and they would love them. Not everything's augmented in all the books. They will give you a little notification, a little picture saying this is what you need to scan. But it brings the story to life or the content to life. So that might be a great way for visually, if they see this is what's going on in the book, to see what that is.
Absolutely. Who is that through? Is it one specific publisher, or how do you find them?
It is, and there's several out there. The publisher that I really like is Carlton Books, and they're out of the UK. But you can get the books on Amazon.
Okay.
If you do a search for augmented books, you're going to get tons of stuff because they're coming out like wildfire. Okay,
I'm writing all this down. Okay, great.
And then this is Octagon Studios, and they have sets of flashcards that are interactive. They have animals, space, careers, and they're alphabetical. So like A is astronaut, and then you get information about the astronaut. They are cartoonish, but they're still, well, these are, but they're still really, really engaging.
Mhm.
And my middle school students, when I just laid them out to see, what they would do with them, and they
Yes.
oohed and awed, and it was it was exciting for them. But the animals, I think, are also like one for each alphabet or letter. Yeah,
Okay.
because they'll give you the Y, and then it'll give you, and you scan that. So you could find animals that go through the story if you're doing a story with animals, and pull out those cards for them.
That's a good idea. Okay.
I have lots of ideas.
I know, girl. I know you're full of them.
I'm full of something some days, but
This is what I need, though.
okay. So, and then there's another book, and the entire book is Augmented, which is a story. It's called Sleep Sweet, and it's from Spellbound.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that. It's
Yeah.
kind of glary.
I can.
But the entire pages are augmented, so you scan each page, and it comes to life.
Wow.
So, and this is an example of a storybook. So, and they're really cool pictures too. And then the augmented part's really cool.
And as far as the, I guess what uses the trigger, the programs, is it just different?
It's a different app. The reason that augmented reality companies are not like like a QR code is because QR doesn't own anything. They're redirecting you to a website or to a file or something that they don't own.
Right.
The companies own the content, so you have to use their app to access the content.
Got it. Okay.
And they will tell you when you buy something, they'll tell you which app you need to download. So each book is going to have its own app. Each flashcard is going to have its own app. And I have posters. Hang on. Okay, Pop AR Toys has posters, and these things are huge posters. And I should have pulled it out when I did the last one, but I mean, it's huge. The entire thing is the trigger.
Shut up.
Okay, so they have different posters. They have like a solar system. This one's a solar system, and it's interactive. So once they scan it, they interact with it. They have the periodic table. So for your dyslexic kids, this would be great for them, so that they can see, the Earth, or
Absolutely.
depending on whatever their need is. But they have a periodic table. So, and I know 8th grade, or is it 8th grade? 7th grade. One of them does a periodic table, the elements.
Yes.
Which would be really great for those students to actually see them, and to, get a better understanding what those elements are, and get more information about it, because you scan it and it's interactive. You touch that element and that's right there.
Can I do, as far as go to Amazon and just search Pop AR Toys?
Yes, and they also have a website.
Oh, okay.
I ordered directly from Amazon. One, I get 2-day shipping.
Yes.
Two, it was cheaper. And I don't know why. It was cheaper. I don't know if I had a discount going on that day or something, but I didn't spend very much. And with the Carlton books, somebody gave me the first set I have of those, because they thought I needed them to try out. And it's just amazing, all the things that are coming out.
Yes. It's very overwhelming. All of the apps that they use so far, have they all been free?
The apps are free, yes.
Okay.
Some things you do have to pay for the content, and some things you don't have to pay for. Like Quiver in Cromville has some free things. And
Okay.
I know that Quiver's developing an education side. So they're wanting to help teachers to get really the interactive stuff. They're going to have, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it yet. Right now they have their education app that has some of the things, and then they have their regular app that has their other content. But with their education app, it's going to be a one-time fee, and you get everything that they're making and putting in and tagging education. And with their other app, it's free, but the contents on the pages you have to pay per page.
Got it. Okay.
And Cromville's doing the same thing. Cromville now has 3 apps. They have a science one. They have a Barcy one that does with water, like water.
Yes, I think I
Yeah,
used that one.
yeah, that one. And then they have their regular one.
Okay. And do you know of anything that uses, I mean, I know Pokemon Go is like a hot topic, but anything educational that's similar to that? Because it seems like up until now, augmented reality, as far as things that I've seen, I'm sure, I mean, obviously you have the down low, but it just seems like it's more interactive with you scan it and then it does something, but with Pokemon Go, it seems more truly interactive
It is.
with the kids. So do
Um,
you,
and I'm glad you brought that up because with Pokemon Go, it is an augmented reality game. It is scanning the area that you're in, so it's using the GPS. So with augmented reality, you don't necessarily have to have a picture to scan it. If it's scanning the area, it's still scanning something, a physical object, something, GPS looking for those coordinates to make it trigger and work. And I did write an article for Quiver, and it's on their website, and I'm tweeting it out, so it should be in the tweet feed, and I will put everything together on my blog too.
okay, great.
Over a dozen activities that focus on Pokemon and using the game, because and the pros and cons of using it
Okay,
with your
good.
kids.
Good deal.
I figured I needed to do that. And when they asked me to write the article, I was like, okay, really, Pokemon Go? But then I started thinking about this could be really, you can use any game for education.
Yeah.
So my students are going to be so excited if I do all these things with them.
I'm also wondering if it just kind of sets a precedence, I think, for education in general. If we'll see more educational type games that are geared like that,
I
not
think we
just
will.
for recreation. I mean, I know you can use it educationally, but does that make sense? More
Yes.
specific educational apps, games to use like that.
Yeah, and I really believe that that's gonna happen. Just because one, it's engaging, and two, the demand is going to be there.
Yeah.
Because now Pokemon has set the bar up and saying, hey, this is what we can do with not being in school. What can you do in school with it? And then try to get games that that incorporate the math, that incorporate the language arts and the history and stuff.
Absolutely. I think that's cool.
Okay, let's see, what else can I share with you? The coloring pages, which you already know about, but Color Live, I use those. I use Quiver, I use Cromville. Disney is coming out with some,
Okay.
which is Color Play, I think is what they called it. There's a lot of stuff coming out. Language arts. I do a lot of writing, so I use a lot of the coloring pages.
For the writing?
Yeah, as writing prompts.
And so do you give your students a prompt and then allow them to color it? And how do you use it, I guess, with writing?
With writing, I had each kid with a different coloring page, and then they have to, they brainstorm questions about how they could write a story around this.
Okay.
So we do a lot of cooperative learning before they even start writing, and then while they're coloring, they're talking about their story that they're developing that focuses on that character or that scene, and then they have to type it up. Because I do keyboarding skills. They have to type it up, and then once I see it, then I tell them which app, because I remove, on the coloring pages, it'll say the app. I remove that until the kids have their writing done, their first draft.
That's a good idea. And that way they don't know, they can't scan it ahead of time.
Well, yeah, so they don't scan it ahead of time. And they are starting to get really sneaky because they're starting to figure out the designs, which company is which, just by the way it's being drawn.
That's good stuff.
So that's becoming a little challenging for me to hide which company it is. Then once they got their first draft done, then I have them scan the trigger, and then they have to add whatever the augmented part was into their story.
Awesome. Okay. I never thought about having each kid have a different page from a different company. So that's,
Yeah.
I mean, game changer right there. Okay. I like it.
And then I add another twist. I have them add the content from another person's page, and I have all the pages. I keep all the pages
Uh-huh.
in a pile, and then when it comes to that point, they have to go find another one. And it could be from anybody from in a different class, because I have them all together, and they have to find one that will match or incorporate into their story. So then they are doing another revision, so they revise it twice. Um,
I love it.
and then I get them to add themselves into that as well. So I teach them how to revise and write, and your first draft isn't always first done. I
Right.
mean, you got to tweak it and add to it, and um, they like it, and they're middle school.
Absolutely. I like the idea because it just seems like it's so different than the regular write and rewrite. I mean,
Right.
it truly gives them a buy-in for wanting to revise and wanting to change and add.
Oh yeah, and I've gotten some really creative stories. Because with Color Live, they have the dragons and they have the
Yeah.
fairies, and now they have Frozen. And I got the Frozen and the Iron Man pages after I'd done it with my last group, and they were so mad at me. We do have a question from Emily. Sorry, Emily. She wanted to know, do I buy the AR books and cards online? Yes. I live in Kansas in the middle of wheat fields, and there are no stores that would carry augmented content for me. So Amazon is my new best friend. So definitely, yeah. If you Google augmented things, you're going to get them in Amazon, but I don't think Octagon is in Amazon. I may be wrong. I got it directly from their website, Octagon Studios. Okay. So do you want to see any examples other than the coloring pages or the writing part that I've done?
I want to see whatever you want to show me.
You're so easy.
I am.
Okay, so and we have lots of people watching, so if you're watching or listening and you have questions, make sure that you type in the Q&A so that we can answer the questions. Okay, I'm going to go into this barrel of death, so don't worry. Okay, so when we talked about Pokemon, Quiver has this dot day sheet that they use for dot day, which is great, and I use it. It's amazing. I use it for multiple things. I thought it would be really cool to create your own Pocket Monster for Pokemon using the Quiver sheet, so the kids can design their monster in the circle, and then when they scan it, it interacts. And then using Google Draw, having them build the stats for their Pokemonster.
Oh.
Yeah, I have lots of ideas.
I haven't played with it. What is what did you just say about the Google Draw?
Google Draw. I saved the sheet as a JPEG, and then I pulled it into Google Draw. And then I use tech tools, and I designed my Pocket Monster in Google Draw on top of inside the circle of Quiver, dot day sheet. And then next to it, I put in the stats for my Pokemonster. Let me pull up a bigger picture. Here you go. Can you see that?
Yes.
So I did all this in Google Draw.
Okay. I've never played with that at all.
It's really easy. And if you're at GAF school, the kids can do it too.
No.
And then you can also use, this sheet has so many ideas that come out, an augmented art show. So the kids can do their design in the circle, and then you could post all the dot day sheets, and then the kids can scan and interact with the art. But you can also pull this into Blip Art, and then you can have kids put videos of them either interacting with and you can also take videos inside the Quiver app and take pictures and record audio. So you can have kids interacting with it and have them record themselves with it and explaining why they created this art piece, this masterpiece, and tie it into a writing assignment.
I like that.
So there's lots of augmented reality is really cool.
And what is that one?
This one I use for a a field trip, a virtual field trip, and I have kids mark where they're going to go. And I use Bunsy to create the field trip. So let me show you the Bunsy. Okay, it won't let me go bigger. Do you see it there?
Yeah.
And then I have the kids, because it's a journal, put in this slide right here, and then this is a 360 of the place. With Bunsy now you can add 360s. I made this 360 at one of our local zoos.
Okay.
So it's going to be a field trip, and then the kids have to explore this area, and then I have writing prompts for them to write in their journal. And there's 4 locations, and they have to guess where they are.
Awesome. Okay.
There's, like this one won't load. This one came directly out of Bunsy, so they have to explore it and try to figure out where they're at. And then there's writing. So there's 4 locations, and then they have to mark their locations on the map where they think they are.
Awesome.
Then it becomes an assessment piece for me, and I can see if they found the right locations just by looking at their map.
If we go to your website, can we interact with the field trip like you just did?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
That's what I love about Bunsy, because I embedded it on my blog, and you can interact with it and see it. So there's 4 locations, and then I give you tips of how to use that page.
Awesome. Okay.
Let's see what else. We have space. Quiver has a fun space guy. And I have writing places, like where would you go in space if you could travel, and then making your own planets, designing your own flag once you find your planet or discover your planet and mark your place. And it becomes a writing activity. And then it's a STEM activity too, where they can create balloon rockets or balloon rockets for the STEM part. And I'm going to do this one with my STEM class.
And then what for your interactive notebook? I've seen you mention it a couple of times. Tell me more about that.
For the interactive notebooks, I just use either pre-made triggers, such as the ones for Quiver, like the map or the flag, and then I print them down to a 4x6 so that they're smaller and they'll fit in the notebook, and the kids glue them in their notebooks, and then they do whatever the activity or lesson is. Let me quit sharing my screen.
How crazy smart is that?
Oh, I know, right? I can be smart. With my STEM class, AR Circuits, and I love AR Circuits. It's a new company. And I teach electricity, circuits. So they have the diagram of each circuit, like this is the wire, this is the switch, and when you put them together correctly and you scan it with your app and you made the complete circuit, it will light up the light bulb and you can interact with the switch.
How cool is that?
So with my STEM class, I got sheets and I put these cards and I left spaces in between them. And then they had the actual cards and they had to go fill in the spaces correctly to complete the circuit with the correct symbols.
That's awesome, because we live in Texas, and 5th grade is what I just got through teaching. That's one of the contents that they cover is circuits, open and closed. So.
Yeah, and I teach open and closed, and then simple and parallel in series circuits. So, and we create a card that they light up, a light-up card using the pen that conducts electricity. So they have to draw a circuit out on the inside of the card, and when they put it together, it lights up the light bulb.
That's awesome. Okay.
So, yeah, I do a lot of things that's not augmented, and then you can augment the card, which we did, and the kids recorded a message.
Those are just really great ideas. Okay.
Okay, let's see. What else can I show? I've shown you different ways to use the coloring pages. And I showed you some books. I showed you cards. Oh, AR flashcards,
Mm-hmm.
which is mainly for the little kids, but they're coming out with historical figures. And I don't think it's released yet, but they showed me Abraham Lincoln, and he gives like all of his famous speeches. So
That's
speeches would
awesome.
be another one that you can use for your students.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I have a lot of great ideas. I really appreciate all your help.
No problem. Okay, so we have 30 more minutes.
Oh gosh.
So there are questions, and I've been looking on Twitter, and I'm getting lots of notifications, but they don't look like questions. And I'm not seeing questions in our Q&A. And we have Emily. Emily, if you have questions or if you want something to share, you got to speak up. She may just be listening, which is okay. Okay, I can share some more. I literally wrote the book on using augmented reality in education. Oops, it's upside down. See, I wrote the book.
I've seen that. Yes.
So, it's just one of those mornings. Okay, let me share my screen. And I can share the different websites. How about that? For those that are watching or listening. Okay, so I showed you mine. Quiver Vision is the Quiver's website. And they just updated their website. They're adding lots of stuff. So the coloring pages are the coloring packs. They also have an education portal. So if you're really into Quiver and all the wonderful things that they do, they're looking for ambassadors. So you can apply for that.
Quiver used to be what company?
Calar.
Yes. Okay.
But they haven't been Calar for a while.
For a while, yeah.
And they're doing some really great things. They're going to start adding educational content to their educational portal. They have now a blog as well, which is their media hub, where they're posting some information. And the article that I wrote for them is called Pokemon Go for Education by me. And I literally give you over a dozen ways to use the game and Pokemon in general in your classroom, like mapping your town, mapping your journey, making an etiquette guide for Pokemon Go seekers, and journaling your experience so that you can bring in the writing part. Kids can write how to care for the Pokemon, a field guide to using Pokemon Go. And then with what I like about the Pokemon Go is that it does the Google Maps, but it's bringing in your local attractions, your local historical sites, your landmarks. So then kids can learn about the different landmarks that they may not have known were landmarks in their community. And then, of course, you got to do the math. So I added statistics and collecting data and making spreadsheets and all that wonderful stuff. There is a camera option so that you can do a photo walk, you can do a digital story walk. If you are poking, because some kids really, and I have middle school kids that do this, that really are into the Pokemon card game, and they want to be the master trainer.
Yes.
So then they could write about how they can become a master trainer. Then there's some math, some other things. So literally over a dozen, including health.
Jogger challenge.
Yeah, and then some resources that you may need for that. So Pokemon Go, and then the coloring packs. We are going to come up with a whole bunch of new ones. They have broken it up to Quiver and Quiver Education. And if they're free, they're going to tell you they're free. If they're not free, then you're going to see the dollar page. And then when you do that, I want to say you're paying per pack now instead of per page.
Got it.
So, and it'll tell you, no, it's per page.
Per page,
So,
okay.
yeah, it's it'll tell you which one is free in the pack, and then the dollar sign means that one you have to pay for.
Got it.
And I buy them just because, one, it supports the company, and two, that I want the content.
Yeah.
So they have a summer one, so you could do a writing assignment about their summer, and then you can have these pages to go with it, and you can put them in their journal. Like I said, you can shrink them down to 4x6, and then have them glue that into their journal, color it, and then write about it, or write about their summer, which is really fun. Let's see, I think I grabbed some. Okay, so yeah.
Do your kids know? I know on some of them, if you color too far in the boundaries, it won't scan correctly. So
Right.
do you just teach your kids ahead of time that color within certain
Well,
areas?
you know they're middle school kids and they don't listen.
None of them do.
If you color too dark and you cover up the lines, it won't scan.
Okay.
If you color over the lines, it may not scan, even if it's a light color. The kids are just going to have to try it, and if it doesn't work, I just tell them, hey, get another one, staple them together, and try again.
Got
Don't
it.
color so dark. And then once they've done it once, they learn quickly, hey, I probably should not do that. So like the dark markers don't work very well. Colored pencils and highlighters work really well.
Okay.
Okay, so they've broken it up to Quiver Education. So everything that is in the education, when you get the education app, you're going to get all the entire content. So it's not per page like it is on the other Quiver side.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And some of the things that you see on the education side, you will not see on the Quiver side, such as the space rocket guy, the train. Some of those things that you will not see on the Quiver side, they're only for education, or only tagged education.
Awesome.
So yeah, you have to get the Quiver, and the apps are different. The blue one is the regular one, and the green one is the education one. And if you're purchasing it for like a school district or something, they will work with you. I don't know the volume pricing part. I'm not a salesperson for them, so I can't help you with that part. I can direct you to them, and they can help you.
Okay.
Okay, so that's Quiver. In Cromville, come on. Technology is great, right?
Love it.
Cromville also has an educational part. They are wanting you to create an account with them so that I think they have a better idea who's accessing their content. And it's called Cromville World. They have 3 apps. And then when you go to, say you go to Cromville Science, for you to download it, you have to log in. So I think you can see it. But they have different ones. They have the classroom, the human body, living things, laboratory, and planet Earth. So when you click on them, and they may be changing this too. You know, I show people one thing, and then they change it.
Of course.
So you click on it, and it won't let you download unless you sign in.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I have an account with them. I do know that from time to time they do give out accounts. So once you've signed in, then you can print the page. And also once you sign in, if you go into the education part, Or Cromville, is it Education Cromville? Cromville World, sorry. You can download other things that are not listed on their website. Like they have some things that so you can go to downloads, and they have some other things that you can print called classroom materials, and they also have the files for the 3D people. So if you have a 3D printer, you can print out their characters. So they have all these things that you can download, and these are not augmented. These are additional things to go with it. So say you're doing, or they have contests too, like the Halloween contest, create your monster. If you are doing, say, the human body, they have a human body art. They have matching cards that you can download and print. So this may or may not fit your, just depending on the level of your students. But they give you the lesson and the idea, and then you print them out.
That's awesome.
So they have things, and it becomes a game. They have things that are augmented and some things that are not. And I don't know a lot of people know that about Cromville or not. But like this one is for science. Come on. They give you the lesson. Then they give you the like what's different in each one of these. What can be dangerous.
Somebody asked about the quiver. When you make a quiver, is it 3D like the coloring pages?
For the quiver? Oh, when I'm sharing, I can't see the question, so let me go back.
And then also with Quiver Education, do you get access to the coloring pages once you buy the app?
Yes, you buy the app, you get access to the coloring pages. You have to go, well, you have access to the coloring pages before you buy the app. You download and print them, but you can't scan them until you buy the app. It won't work. Okay. I'm glad you're looking at the questions. I can't see them when I'm sharing. So we did that one. Do I have, in my book, do I have lessons for high school? I have broken up my lessons from not necessarily middle school, high school, elementary. It's broken up to more ability. Like for the higher kids, the kids that are in the middle, and then the kids that are the low kids. I tend to think that way instead of grade level, because we have high school kids that aren't up here. They may be down a notch. So I've broken up my lessons into the kind of, does that make sense? Into more of a high, medium, low instead of grade level. Okay. We answered that one. When you make a quiver, is it 3D like the coloring pages? Like when you scan it, it's a 3D whatever interaction. So if you're doing the cells, the thing pops up in 3D and it's interactive. Cromville is the same way. It'll be a digital three-dimensional interactive, depending on the pages are all different. The 3D, the printable 3D is Cromville only, and it's their characters. Currently, Quiver may go there, but they'll give you the file to print it with the 3D printer, and then you can print out the different characters. Like you can print out Fred and Zoe, and I printed out a couple with our 3D printer just to try it out because I had to. Okay, let's see.
What about virtual field trips? How does that work with, I guess that's not really augmented reality, but... Can you use it?
They overlap because you can augment the field trip. So when you scan it, it'll take you to the 360 or take you to the museum or whatever it is that you're going, depending if it's not flash-based. If it's flash-based, your iPad will not work because iPads don't.
Right.
But there's currently no triggers that are currently made for field trips.
That's what I was wondering.
Those are things that I've made or I help other teachers make.
Okay. So when I want to do that, I'm going to come to you.
Yeah,
right?
You can come to me anytime. I'm available. Okay, so, okay. I'm glad that made sense, Veronica. Sorry. Okay, so I showed you Cromville, and I showed you Cromville has more than just augmented reality, and I showed you Quiver, and we have a few more minutes, so I can show you Pop AR and Octagon Studios. Must be a commercial. Okay, so let me get rid of these. In 1 week, you can lose weight too. Okay, so Pop AR toys, and you can also get them in Amazon, so you might want to check in both places before you purchase. Has a store, so you want to go to shop, and they have interactive books, they have charts and puzzles, and the different charts that they have are the U.S. capitals and presidents. They're together on one chart. The world map with the ancient wonders landmarks, which is really cool. The human body anatomy, the solar system, and the periodic table. The books that they have are the dinosaurs, the sea life, safari, planets, 3D bugs, construction machines, and I have the construction machines, and it's really cool to see those big construction equipment augmented, because you interact with it, you get to see it moving and make the crane go up, go down. It's really cool. Planets 3D. Oh, did I say that one? Construction. A storybook, which is Princess and Her Pals, and then they have these wonderful puzzles. So if you have like a area in your classroom where kids are, when they get done, they could go work on a puzzle, or in your library, you can get these augmented puzzles. And there's other companies that do augmented puzzles too. And kids can put it together and scan it. They have a football, basketball, soccer, planets, construction, a picnic, and a princess. I can't forget the girls. I'm going to put some princess stuff in there. But you can also get this stuff on Amazon as well. And then Octagon. Studios. Did I spell that right? I did not spell that right. What did I forget? Oh, if I could type. Okay, so we have Octagon 4D Studios. They'll give you a little demo, but they also have a shop. And if I'm remembering correctly, they have packs too, so you can buy them individually or you can buy them in a pack. Yeah, they have the pack bundle that has the animals, the little people, the careers, the space, the dinosaur, and the food. They are also getting into VR, so that they have some things that work with VR, and they have a coloring page, and they're augmenting their shirts, which I think will be really fun.
That's awesome.
And then there's another company that is augmented a shirt. You get to see the heart working and going in deeper and watching, the flow of the blood. which can be creepy at the same time.
I kind of like it.
I'm going to wear it for Halloween. Okay, so those are just some of the things that are already pre-made that you can incorporate into your classroom depending on what you teach and what grade level you teach.
Awesome.
Okay.
I appreciate all that you shared today.
Oh, no problem. I love to share. Let me double check our questions, see if we got any questions on Twitter world. You never know. I get like 90 notifications here, and I don't know if they're all questions. It looks like just people sharing. So Natalie was watching. It was nice to see you, and Carola was watching. I got more popping up. Okay, do you have any questions or anything else that I can show you, Summer?
I don't think so. If I do, I know where to find it. I'm definitely going to check out. I haven't checked out your blog in a long time, so definitely a lot to catch up on. But I appreciate all that you shared.
No problem. Like I said, contact me anytime. I'm available, and if I'm not, I will be very quickly.
Absolutely, you're easy to get in touch with. So.
Okay, and I'm not seeing any other questions, and we're getting close to the end anyways, so
All right.
I think we'll call it the day.
Thanks for sharing everything. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining. I really like it when I have somebody to talk to instead of just myself.
Girl, I just rolled out of bed and drank some coffee, so.
Well, I appreciate it.
This was for you.
Well, right. Your husband was walking around in the background.
I know. I didn't think to tell him he was, broadcasted live. Oh, well.
It's okay.
Thanks. Y'all have a good day.
You too.